Welcome to Gen X Reviews. My name is Rudy A. I give movie reviews from a Gen X point of view, and I want to talk about the original Beetlejuice for just a moment. March 30th, 1988 is the original release date for Beetlejuice. That just so happens to be my birthday. And in 1988, me and two of my cousins went to the theater to watch Beetlejuice. And believe it or not, we saw it twice. And would you believe me if I told you that I didn't like the movie? None of us did. We thought it was too weird. It didn't make any sense. Yes, there were some funny parts of the movie, and even in the theater, it wasn't a laugh-out-loud experience that you would come to expect. People chuckled, but it was just odd. It was a movie dealing with the afterlife, and there was this zany possession, dance sequences, and a lot of things were just too out there because we had never seen anything like that. So we all enjoyed it, but it wasn't funny. We all left the theater thinking, yeah, that was okay. I guess if you like it, but it's no big deal. And we were just kind of mixed about it. Siskel and Ebert hated the movie.
This film is called Beetlejuice, and to its credit, it's one of the most ambitious fantasy, horror, and comedy films ever made. But here's a case where a movie just tries too hard for its own good, overwhelming us with special effects to the point it becomes almost obnoxious.
Frankly, I walked into this movie knowing nothing about it. I didn't know it was going to be a Ghostbusters clone.
Right.
And then when all the supernatural stuff hit, I agreed with you. I was sitting looking at the set decorations and saying, gee, that's terrific. The special effects. Boy, they're well done, but so what? Because there's no comic energy behind it. And Beetlejuice is absolutely, I mean, you use the word obnoxious. That's what it is. It's not funny. It's just, there's that guy again. Let's get rid of him.
A lot of us were upset that Beetlejuice wasn't in the movie as much as we thought he was going to be. The marketing had led us that he was going to be a main character in the entire movie, so when the Maitlands were, we were a little disappointed. But again, we left the theater thinking it was okay. It didn't gain popularity until it started to be rerun on HBO 24/7 every day. So the movie eventually grew on us, and it wasn't until at least, honestly, the late 90s when it started to become what it is today. And honestly, what is Beetlejuice today? It's a nostalgic family event that we've seen with our family and friends that we hold near and dear to our hearts. Hell, the Spirit Halloween store has its own section of Beetlejuice home decor and costumes. It's become part of our pop culture. It's become part of our Halloween playlist. It's much bigger than it was ever intended to be. So for any movie to attempt to remake or make a sequel to this movie, I knew it was going to meet a lot of pushback from critics and audiences because how dare you even get near or touch this beloved classic? And sequels are often held to a very high and unrealistic regard as far as expectations go. When audience and critics have high expectations, especially with films based on nostalgia, most of the time that movie's going to fall flat, no matter how good it is. Expectations can lead audiences to have preconceived notions of what the film is supposed to be, what they have in their mind, and when that film doesn't produce that result, or maybe takes some chances, or maybe too little chances, the audiences are going to be disappointed, even if the creative choices were valid. And now that I've spoken my piece, I'm going to go ahead and give you my thoughts on Beetlejuice. Let's start with the positives first. First and foremost, it's always great to see Michael Keaton as Beetlejuice back on the screen. I have to admit his performance was consistent with the original. He didn't miss a beat, the tone, the humor was all there. So anytime I saw Michael Keaton on screen, it brought a smile to my face. I couldn't help it. The guy looks great. The visuals were on par with the original. I love the set pieces. I love the practical effects. I love the stop motion. And the very limited use of CGI. If there was any CGI, I'll be honest, I totally miss it. I think there's one or two sequences that are obvious, but overall, it looked like Tim Burton was going back to his roots and giving us like the classic style that we're accustomed that he delivers. And I especially love the Mario Bava sequence where Beetlejuice is telling the backstory about he and his ex-wife met. It's shot in that 1960s Italian horror style, and he's speaking Italian while he's doing that. And I love that you can hear Dario Argento's score from Inferno playing in the background, and the light reflection from the fire, you can see it on the lens. And again, it's those little details that I can tell that Tim Burton possibly has maybe heard the criticisms of people saying that he relies too much on CGI, and this is his way of going back to those roots. So again, I appreciated that. I love that we're seeing more of the dead and the afterlife. I love the whole Soul Train sequence. That's pretty innovative. And I know upon rewatch, I'm going to get more of the jokes again, because every body that you see died a certain way. The one standout was the one guy dressed as Santa Claus who was burnt to a crisp. I really enjoyed that. So again, I love that we're getting an expansion of the world. It kind of reminded me of the Beetlejuice cartoon back in the late 80s, early 90s. So I would love to see more of that. I thought the writing was just as funny as the original, and I'm sure I'm going to catch more jokes both verbally and visually in the background upon rewatch. The Danny Elfman score was great, along with the soundtrack with the Bee Gees. I really enjoyed that. And in leaving the theater on Thursday, me and my wife were looking at each other. Yeah, I enjoyed it. It was okay, but I enjoyed it. And I know that's exactly the same way I felt back in 1988. And I know this film is going to be more appreciated as time goes on, just like the original. The jokes are there. I mean, I'm still laughing to this day at seeing the sign that says Beetlejuice Beetlejuice couples therapy. Just the lunacy of that. It just like it cracks me up. I want that shirt. My biggest disappointment about Beetlejuice is the underutilization of Monica Bellucci. I mean, come on. What were they thinking? She has this epic backstory that we see in this Mario Bava sequence, and then we see this awesome introduction to her with a great soundtrack playing, and she's got the ability to kill ghosts by sucking their souls. But anyway. And then she's hardly in the film. She's only in the film maybe 7 minutes, 8 minutes tops, and then you're expecting this huge confrontation, at least something, between her and Beetlejuice, and we never really get it. So again, that was a huge letdown for me. And I've heard other critics say this, that there's way too many characters and the story feels diluted and pulled in all these different ways. And for me, for the exception of Monica Bellucci's character, at no point in the film did I feel I wasn't getting enough of a particular character. I felt everyone's story, I don't think there was an arc with all of them, but everybody's story was told in the appropriate way. So again, no complaints on my end when it came to that. In closing, overall, I feel that Beetlejuice 2 delivered the impossible task, which was giving us audiences an odd afterworld black comedy experience that the original did. Yes, it has its problems, it's not perfect, no film is, but again, no major problems within the film took away from the enjoyment that I had while watching it, and I know it's going to age well, and I'm going to love it more the more I watch it. So I am giving Beetlejuice 2 thumbs up. Well, that does it for my review of Beetlejuice. If you can do me a favor, put some comments down below. I'd love to hear from you. Did you like it? Did you hate it? Let me know. I read all the comments and respond to as many as I can. If you haven't done so already, please hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. It would mean the world to me. It really would. So again, till next time, thank you for watching. I'll see you. Peace.